You found your own space. Now that you are here, close the noise out for a moment. Just breathe. This space was made for you. It is quiet enough. Wherever today has taken you, however heavy it has been, in the middle of all the chaos, God is still here, and so are you.
Let's have a conversation or conversations. This is God-given peace. This is bliss. This is quiet enough.
Hi bestie, this is Quiet Enough, otherwise known as The Party is Quiet Enough. So episode 2 is a very sensitive topic called I don't know who I am without my pain. Okay, I want to ask you something, and I want you to sit with it rather than answer it immediately. Because the immediate answer is never the honest one. If everything that has ever hurt you, every hard thing, every difficult season, every wound you have been carrying, if all of it was somehow gone tomorrow, who would you be? Take a moment with that. Because I think for some of you, the question just produced a feeling you were not expecting. Not relief, something closer to fear. And that fear, that quiet, confusing, almost shameful fear of what healing might take from you, is exactly what we are going to talk about today. This is Quiet Enough, and you are exactly who this was made for. There is something that happens to a person who has been in pain for a long time. Something quiet and gradual, and so slow you don't notice it until it is already done. The pain stops being something you are going through, and it starts being something you are. It starts innocently enough. You go through something hard, a loss, a trauma, a period of darkness, a diagnosis, a family situation that no child should have had to navigate. And naturally, understandably, completely humanly, that thing becomes part of how you understand yourself. It becomes part of your story. It becomes part of how you explain yourself to the world and to yourself. But somewhere along the way, and this is the part nobody warns you about, the story stops being something you tell and starts being something you live inside of. The anxiety stops being something you have and becomes something you are. The depression stops being something you are going through and becomes the lens through which you see everything. The hard childhood stops being something that happened to you and becomes the reason for everything, every choice, every fear, every relationship, every ceiling you place above yourself. And you don't even realize it has happened, because from the inside, it just feels like knowing yourself. The most dangerous thing about pain that has lived in you long enough is that it starts to feel like home. And home, no matter how uncomfortable, no matter how cramped, no matter how much it has cost you, is the hardest place in the world to live. I want to tell you about someone. We'll call him Elijah. Elijah was 19 years old when I want to introduce him to you. But to understand Elijah at 19, you have to understand Elijah at 12. At 12, Elijah's parents separated. Not gently, the way people sometimes describe separations, as though they are carefully managed transitions, but loudly, painfully, with the kind of damage that settles into the walls of a house and stays there long after the people have gone. Elijah watched his family break apart in the way that children watch things they don't have language for, in silence, from the edges of rooms, absorbing everything and processing nothing. And because nobody sat with him and helped him understand what was happening, he did what children do when they are left alone with something too big for them. He made it mean something about himself. He decided, not consciously, not in words, but in the deep wordless logic of a 12-year-old trying to survive, that the reason his family had broken was somehow connected to him. that if he had been different, quieter, easier, less of whatever he was, things might have held together. Children carry this guilt the way they carry everything, silently, without complaint, as though it is simply the weight of the world and everyone must be carrying it too. By the time Elijah was 14, the guilt had transformed. It had curdled into something else. A deep, persistent, all-weather sadness that he couldn't explain and couldn't shake. A heaviness that followed him into classrooms and friendships and every quiet moment when there was nothing to distract him from himself. He saw a counselor. He was given a name for what he was feeling, and the name helped. Only at first, though, it helped because it meant he wasn't making it up. It meant the weight was real. It meant there was a word for the thing that had been living inside him. And words, even hard words, are a form of relief when you have been carrying something nameless. But then something else happened. The name became a home. Elijah stopped saying, "I have been feeling depressed," and started saying, "I am depressed." He stopped describing what he was experiencing and started describing what he was. It became the first thing he said about himself to new people. It became the explanation for everything. Why he couldn't commit to things, why relationships were hard, why certain futures felt close to him before he had even tried them. His pain became his personality, and his personality became his ceiling. He had been given a name for his wound, and somewhere along the way, he had started wearing it like a name tag. The painful and important thing about Elijah is that he was not weak for this. He was not dramatic. He was not seeking attention. He was doing the only thing a person can do when they have been in pain for long enough. He organized his life around it. He built his identity on the most permanent feeling thing he knew, and his pain had been the most permanent thing he knew for 7 years. By 19, Elijah had been offered something he did not know how to receive. Things had begun, slowly and imperfectly, to get better. The counseling was working. The darkness was lifting. Not gone, not even close to gone, but lifting, moving. The way weather moves when it is finally ready to change. And Elijah was terrified, not relieved, not grateful, terrified. Because the darkness lifting meant the question he had been avoiding for 7 years was finally going to have to be answered. Who am I if I am not this? Who am I without the weight? Who am I without the diagnosis as an explanation? Without the hard childhood as a reason? Without the pain as a personality? He had spent so long learning to live inside the wound that he had never built anything outside of it. And the idea of having to start, of having to find out who he was in the absence of the thing he had always been, felt more frightening than the pain itself. Sometimes we hold on to our pain, not because we love suffering, but because suffering is the only self we have learned to trust. I want to speak to you now, not about Elijah, about you. And I want to start by saying something that I need you to hold with both hands, because it is easy to hear and hard to actually receive. What happened to you was real. It might not be the same as Elijah's story or even related, but whatever it was, the loss, the trauma, the family that fell apart, the abuse, the neglect, the depression, the anxiety, the years of darkness, the thing you have never said out loud to another living person. It was real. It happened. It hurt. It changed things. And you were never wrong to be affected by it. I'm not going to stand here and tell you to get over it, or move on, or choose happiness as though it is something you can simply pick up off a shelf. I know it is not that simple. I know that healing is not linear. I know that some wounds do not close cleanly, and some seasons of darkness are longer than anyone around you understands. But I also want to say something else, something that comes from the same place of love and care. Your pain is not your identity. What you have been through is part of your story. It has shaped you. It has made you someone who understands things that people who have not suffered cannot understand. It has given you a depth, a sensitivity, a capacity for empathy that is genuinely rare and genuinely beautiful. But it is not the whole story. And it was never meant to be the final word on who you are. You were not born to be defined by the hardest thing that ever happened to you. You were born before the pain arrived. And there is a version of you that exists beyond it. Not a version without scars, not a version who has forgotten, not a version who pretends the hard things didn't happen, but a version who carries the story without being trapped inside it. A version who says, "This happened to me, and it changed me, and I am still becoming someone that pain has not yet met." You are not the wound. You are the person who survived it. And those are two completely different things. I also want to name something that I think some of you are feeling but haven't said out loud. The fear of healing. Because healing is frightening when your pain has been your identity for a long time. When the anxiety has been explaining your choices. When the depression has been the reason for your limits. When the hard story has been what people know you by. When getting better means you will no longer have a reason for the things you have been afraid of, and the things you have been avoiding, and the version of the future you have been telling yourself you cannot have. Healing means accountability, and accountability can feel like loss when you are not ready for it. So let me say this as gently and as directly as I know how. It is okay to be afraid of who you are without the pain. It is okay to not know the answer to that question yet. It is okay to be somewhere in the middle, not entirely defined by your wound anymore, but not yet sure what you are instead. That middle place is not failure. It is not weakness. It is not evidence that you will never get there. It is the exact place where becoming happens. You do not have to know who you are yet. You just have to be willing to find out. Healing is not the loss of who you were. It is the discovery of who you were always meant to be, underneath everything that tried to bury you. There is one more thing I want to say, and I want to say it with so much care that you feel the love in it before you feel the challenge. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes, the story we tell about our pain starts to serve us in ways that keep us stuck. The anxiety becomes the reason we never try the thing we are most afraid of. The depression becomes the reason we never reach for the life we actually want. The hard childhood becomes the reason we never trust anyone enough to let them close. The wound becomes the wall, and the wall feels like protection because it was protection once. At some point in your life, building that wall was the wisest thing you could have done. It kept you safe when safety was not guaranteed. It kept you together when falling apart was not an option. But you are not in that season anymore. And a wall that once protected you can become a prison without you ever deciding to make it one. So I want to ask you gently, without judgment, with every ounce of care I have, what is your pain protecting you from right now? What is the thing you have been telling yourself you cannot do, cannot have, cannot be, because of what happened to you? And is it possible, just possible, that the real reason is not the pain itself, but the fear of what you might discover about yourself if you stopped letting the pain be the answer? Because here is what I have seen in people who have done the brave and terrifying work of separating themselves from their suffering. They do not find emptiness on the other side. They find themselves curious, creative, capable, resilient in ways the pain had actually been hiding from them, full of instincts and gifts and ways of seeing the world that the wound had been covering like a cloth over a painting. The painting was always there. The pain was just in the way. Your hardest season was not the making of you. It was the interruption of you. And you get to continue. So what do you actually do with all of this? I want to give you something real. Not a platitude. Not a 5-step plan. Something you can actually hold. The first thing is this. Start noticing when you use your pain as a full stop instead of a comma. A full stop sounds like, I cannot do that because of what happened to me. A comma sounds like, what happened to me made this hard, and I'm still figuring out how to move through it. One ends the sentence, the other keeps it going. You are allowed to keep the sentence going. The second thing is, start getting curious about who you are outside of the wound. Not in a forced way, not by pretending the wound doesn't exist, but by asking yourself, separate from everything hard that has happened to me, what do I love? What makes me come alive? What would I pursue if I believed I was allowed to? Start small. A song that moves you for reasons you can't explain. A subject that lights something up in you. A type of person you feel instinctively safe around. A moment in your day when you forget, just briefly, to be in pain. Those moments are not escapes from who you are. Those moments are glimpses of who you are becoming. The third thing, and this is perhaps the most important one, is to tell someone the real version of your story. Not the version you have been telling, not the version that explains everything and makes the wound the center, the version underneath that one. The version where the wound is real, but you are also real. Where the pain is true, but so are the parts of you the pain has not touched. Find one person, a counselor, a trusted friend, a mentor, a pastor. Someone who has shown you they can hold something fragile without dropping it. And tell them both things. Tell them what you have been through and tell them who you are underneath it. Because the story needs a witness who knows the whole of it, not just the hard parts. You are allowed to be more than your worst season. You are allowed to outgrow the version of yourself that the pain created. If it feels right, wherever you are, however you are sitting, let these words be yours. Dear Lord, I have been in this pain for so long that I am not sure where it ends and I begin. I have used it to explain myself, to protect myself, to limit myself. And I am tired, not just of the pain, but of the person the pain has made me believe I am. I want to know who I am without it. I'm frightened of that question, but I am more frightened of never asking it. So help me to begin, not to forget what I have been through. I don't think I could even if I tried, but to stop letting it be the ceiling above everything I reach for. Remind me that what I survived is not the most interesting thing about me, that underneath the wound, there is a person you made on purpose, a person with gifts the pain has been hiding, a person with a future the past does not get to cancel. Help me to find that person. Help me to like them. Help me to become them. Slowly, imperfectly, stubbornly, one true thing at a time. Amen. So my darling, you are more than what broke you, more than what was done to you, more than the diagnosis, the label, the hard season, the story you have been telling about yourself since the year everything changed. You are also the person who carried all of that and kept going. And that person, the one still standing after everything, deserves to find out who they are when they are finally free to be more than their pain. If this episode found someone today who needed it, send it to them. You don't need to explain it. Just send it. They will understand when they get here. Episode 3 is coming and you will love it even more. It is the continuation of everything we started today. And if you are not ready for that episode yet, that is okay. Come back to it when you are. This place will still be here. Quiet enough for whatever you are carrying. Until then, be still enough to hear the good things.
Hey, bestie. You had a good time, right? Yeah, I bet you did. And just like that, you made it through. Just so you know, the world will get loud again the moment you leave here. That's okay. Hold on to what you felt in here just long enough to remember that this quiet exists. We need to hang out more. Bring your friends. This party is quiet enough. See you soon, love.